Say Ra'enu, Zunenu, Parnasenu, V'chalkalenu. What does Ra'enu mean? So I saw some English Siddurim translate Ra'enu, Hashem tends to us. What does that mean that Hashem tends to us? I don't know, usually tending, like a parking attendant or a home attendant takes care of Rahman al-Islam, someone who can't take care of themselves. What does it mean Hashem tends to us? Now we all know the word Ra'enu is a royeh, is a shepherd, right? Now we're saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is our shepherd. Shepherd, I guess we could say, tends to the animals. So we say also, he tends to us, right? But really, it's very hard to understand. So the Mefarshim explain what we're saying here. What are we asking for? So the Mefarshim say that this idea of praising Hashem as our shepherd comes from where? Tehillim Perek Chav Gimel, we're all very familiar with. Mizmor LeDavid, Hashem Ra'i Lo Yachzor. David HaMelech said, Hashem is my shepherd, and therefore I'm not going to lack anything. And if you look in the Mefarshim there, on the Pasuk and Tehillim, they all explain David HaMelech is saying, one thing is for sure, that even in some say he was praising how, even when he was a shepherd, the Rebbeinu Shalom shepherded him. But more than that, some say that even through all the tzaras that David HaMelech went through, one thing he always knew, that just like a shepherd makes sure that the sheep have grass and water, have food and water, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will make sure Lo Echsar, he was never lacking in it. But the Medrash asks, what is David HaMelech saying here? The Medrash tells us that a shepherd was considered Avodah Bezuya, was considered the lowest level job you'd give someone to be a shepherd. So what's David HaMelech saying? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is our shepherd? So the Medrash tells us this is not David HaMelech's Chiddush. Where did David HaMelech get this idea from, of Hashem being a shepherd? He got it from Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu, right in the pasuk right before Hamalach, at the end of Yaakov Avinu's life, it says, "Vayivorech es Yosef vayomer halekim, asher yis'alcha avoisai lefonav Avram v'Yitzchak." That the Rebbeinu Shalom who took care of and was there for Avram and Yitzchak, but haroya oisi me'odi adayim zeh. But to me, he was a shepherd. Yaakov Avinu is saying that my father Avram, Yitzchak, my Zaydi Avram, they didn't have to, you'll never see in the Torah that they worked for their food. Hashem was Beirach Avram Bakarel after he went to Lech Lecha, right? He had shepherds who took care of his tons of sheep, but he was taken care of straight up by Kodesh Baruch Hu, without working. We don't see either by Yitzchak. Hashem, he yarshins from Avram Avinu, didn't have to. Yaakov was the first one who had to work for his food. He worked 7 years by Lavan as a shepherd, another 7 years, a third 7 after he married Rachel and Leah, 21 years he had to work. Then his sons had to help him shepherd, right? You don't see Yitzchak had to be the shepherd for Avram, right? The Yud Beis Shvatim, where were they? The Yud Shvatim, where Yosef went down to find them in Shechem, they were shepherds. Yaakov had to take care of himself. And so what was Yaakov saying when he was makir, when he recognized that Hashem was his shepherd? What did Yaakov mean by that? Not negative, but what's a shepherd? When the sheep go out to graze their grass, they don't see the shepherd as feeding them. They see the shepherd as opening the gate and leading them. They don't have a sense of direction. They don't know if they're going to a different place than yesterday. The shepherd knows, right, where to take them with his grass. But they don't realize that it's coming from the shepherd. They think they go and they find grass, they find water. They don't realize that even though it looks like they're working for it themselves and finding it themselves, it's because the shepherd led them on the way. So Yaakov Avinu was saying, I realized that even when I was earning it and I had to work for it, it was only because HaKadosh Baruch Hu was the shepherd, shepherding it into happening. Right? And that's what David HaMelech was saying also. Hashem is our shepherd, and we have to work for our stuff. We can easily think it's Keichi Vaitzim Yatsi, we did it. So no, we say Ra'inu. We realize HaKadosh Baruch Hu is that shepherd who's in the background making sure we're going to the place to graze, we're getting what we need. It's really, from stepping back, we don't see every single day necessarily, it's really the Yad Hashem. And that's why we say it in Bרכat, Hamazon, that Hashem's our shepherd. And I'll finish off with this. How do you touch the word Ra'inu? It's very interesting. In almost all times, Targum Onkelos, if you look, when he touches Ra'inu, let's say by the Ra'eh of the shepherds of Avram, or the shepherd, when the Shvatim were shepherds, he uses the word Ra'eh Reish Ayin Yud in Aramaic as well, or sometimes you'll see the word Rava, Reish Ayin Vav Aleph, depends on the tense. But when the Targum Onkelos, by Mizmor David Hashem Ra'ei Lo Yachzor, and by this pasuk by Yaakov Avinu, when he calls Hashem his shepherd, what's the word that's used in the Targum Onkelos? Zon, to feed him. And most time, and you'll find it other places, one or two other places I found already, where when we talk about Hashem being our shepherd, it's translated Zon, a person, it's right. Because we realize when Hashem is our shepherd, he is feeding us. So when we say Ra'inu Zunenu, it's poetic, understanding that Hashem is our Raya, who is feeding us. So we have to translate Ra'inu there as a shepherd who feeds us, not just as something who tends to us.